Learn fast, act faster. That is going to be the standard for as long as I need it to be to actually learn that lesson. Hold on, let's see if this focuses. There you go. And yeah, because money loves speed, and every single person that is really successful, apparently the one thing that they have in common is that they act and take massive action very quickly. As soon as they learn something that could help them move forward, they immediately do it. Like that second, that day, that hour, immediately they can't rest until they implement it. And so that is going to be the standard for me moving forward. For the last month, the standard was don't be perfect, just show up every day and do honest work. And I don't want to say that I've learned that lesson fully, because there are some things I can improve on, but the fact that I've gotten the ball rolling, I feel like the next thing that'll really, keep that ball rolling and remind me of the previous lesson is that as soon as you learn something, take immediate action, because that's the one thing that's gonna move the needle, that's gonna get me closer to my goals. So yeah, that's gonna be the standard. Another thing that I want to talk about is fixating and obsessing over inputs rather than outputs. So basically what that means is whatever actions you're supposed to be taking that will directly lead to results, focus on doing that and focus on doing as much of that as possible. So for me, I'm trying to drive traffic to my community, and in order to do that I have to market it, and I'm marketing it through YouTube organic, basically this. And so my inputs are creating content. That's the input for me. That's the work that I'm putting in. That's going to get me the results that I want. So anything that has to do with creating the content and getting traffic to my community, that is what we're doing. So that means coming up with new ideas, recording those ideas, editing them, and putting a call to action at the end. I've been doing good at thinking of new ideas, recording them, and posting them. Now I need to start putting call to actions in the videos. That's what I need to do. Up until now, I've been convincing myself that, I should get to a certain point with my YouTube channel before I start putting call to actions, because on and on and on, like whatever the reasons are, it doesn't matter. The point is, if you don't put call to actions, how are you going to get traffic? That's the whole point of doing all this, is to get traffic. So that is going to be the number one thing I focus on moving forward, is taking more action and actually putting call to actions at the end of the video so that people actually have a chance to convert. And if they don't, then we make improvements. What could be better about the video? What could be better about the call to action? How do we increase retention? All that stuff. But just like the biggest thing is just doing as much as we possibly can. Putting more videos out, being consistent, not getting complacent, which I did that in the past week. I got comfortable and I stopped taking action, and I hate that feeling. So we're gonna stop doing that. We're gonna adjust. As soon as we realize that we're doing something wrong, we fix it. That's the standard. We learned that we're doing something wrong, and now we're immediately gonna take action to fix it. That is the standard. And the reason I'm talking about standard so much is because I watched this documentary about Nick Saban, and he said, somebody asked him, hey, what is one thing that allowed you to be so successful with different classes of football players and for such a long time? And he was like, it's because we have a standard, and every day we fight to uphold that standard. This is what we do, and every day we we push ourselves to live up to the standard. So that's something that I learned and that I'm immediately going to start acting on. I'm going to implement that in my life, because what's the harm? Like, there's no way this could possibly be a bad thing. Like, holding yourself to a high standard is a good thing. It'll suck in the moment, and it'll be uncomfortable throughout the entire time that you're doing it, but that's the point. You're not supposed to be comfortable in life all the time. I also want to build a positive association with the things that get results and a negative association with distractions. And I think I'm starting to feel that change happen when I catch myself, scrolling on Instagram. Like, it just happened just now. I was about to start scrolling, and I was like, no, there's zero reason that I should start scrolling on Instagram, and there's nothing good that's going to come from it. So just I just cut it immediately, because once you start, it's hard to stop. Instagram is $1 billion organization, and every single dollar that they make goes towards making sure people can stay on that platform as long as possible. And it's billions of dollars that are going towards that cause. So it would be naive to think that you can resist that. Resist all the money that's going towards manipulating human nature. You know what I mean? So I just deleted off my phone, and unless I'm going to make a post on Instagram, there's no reason that application should be on my phone right now. And yeah, you can make posts on a computer, but whatever. I'm just not worried about Instagram, because it's a distraction, it's a time suck, and there's nothing good that comes from social media unless you're using it to make money. Yeah, so that's one thing that's good that's happening is I'm just my association towards work and the things that get results is becoming increasingly positive, and my association towards distractions is becoming increasingly negative, which I like. Another thing I've been thinking about is accepting that things are going to take time. Like, the things that I want to achieve in life are going to take time. At the very least, a year of consistent action and learning, and action and learning, and action and learning. And it's going to be more difficult than you expect it to be. And that's something I'm learning to accept as time goes on, because I've spent years wasting time and avoiding work because it's going to be difficult and because it's going to take forever. But when I think back to when I first stopped going after the things I wanted, if I had just kept going from that point till now and doing everything that I knew that I was supposed to be doing, I would be much further along. But I'm okay with that time where I ignored all the work, because that needed to happen for me to learn this lesson. So, it just is what it is. As long as I learn from that lesson and I actually implement the teachings of that lesson and actually become better for it, better because of it. So if I can actually learn from that, then that time I wasted would actually be, it would have actually not been as bad as I think it is. It would actually be a good thing, because I learned an important lesson. So that's that. Committing to a project for at least a year. It'll take at least a year of consistent, all-out effort, like giving it everything you have for a full year, which is not long. Just learning to commit to things and being focused on one single thing for a full year, again, that's going to teach you a lot. So that's going to teach me a lot. So that's another thing that I'm learning and that I want to do and that I'm going to do, because it's really easy to hop from thing to thing, and I'm tired of doing that. Like, nothing comes from that. The next thing is upskilling. Right now I'm in a chapter where it's less about making money and more about learning skills, learning high income skills, because skills are the only thing that's gonna really get you paid in life. Learning how to do things, knowing knowing how to get results, that's what's going to get you paid in life. So I'm in a chapter where anything that's going to teach me an important life skill is what has my attention. So I'm just focused on that, just learning the skills, and learning the skills in a way that is oriented towards making money. So it doesn't mean that this entire time I'm just going to make $0, because if you learn the skill properly, you'll actually start to make money. It's just that I'm not fully just optimizing for making money, because that's when you get into like scammy things and money grabs. That's not the point. The point is to actually learn, and money comes as a byproduct of learning. So that's why the standard is learn fast and act fast, because the faster you learn, the quicker you get to where you want to be, which is the point where you can earn money. So that's what we're doing. I also like to think about where I could be a year from now, and like realistically where you could be from a year from now. Now that doesn't mean you settle, it doesn't mean you want less, but just be real. Like, hey, if you want this thing, what is it going to take for you to do to get there? What do you have to do for the next full year to achieve those things? Like, is it possible that a year from now you could afford a $150,000 car? Sure, but is that realistic? Probably not. And it would take like an almost supernatural level of decision making and effort to do that. Probably, I don't know. But is it possible for me to have my own car, just in general, and I don't know, be making $10,000 a month? Is that possible? Yeah. Is that realistic? Yeah, in a way. So, just having the right expectations and thinking about where you could be in a year from now, and doing what you need to do realistically to get there. I think that's a good thought exercise, and that's something I'm doing too, that I want to do more of. But if there's one thing from this video that I'm going to take to heart, is that money loves speed. So learn fast and act even faster. Yeah, that's it.